It is now tradition that we convene the ceremonial annual meeting of the members. At this time, I'd like to briefly call to order the annual meeting of the members of the Academy. I am pleased to announce the names of the 4 individuals elected over the summer by the membership of as membership as regular directors, and will ask them to stand as I call their names. Please hold your applause until I've recognized all 4 of them. As incoming directors to serve a 3-year term, Ken Kasner, Barbara Cleaver, and Frank Tedesco. Aaron Weindling was elected to serve the remaining 2 years of a board position that was vacated. I look forward to serving on the board with them. I want to note that board terms for all incoming directors begin at the close of this annual meeting of members, and with no other business to conduct in the annual meeting, I hereby adjourn the annual meeting of the Academy members. I'd also like to note the presence of other Academy board members who are here today, including those who are outgoing and incoming. The election of officers by the Board of Directors occurred during the annual meeting of the Academy Board on September 25th. Please stand when I call your name, and again, please hold your applause until I've called all of the names. Incoming officers here today: Tom Campbell, President-elect; Kathy Murphy-Barron, Secretary-Treasurer; Tim Geddes, Vice President Pension; Laura Hansen, Vice President Life; Gareth Kennedy, Vice President Risk Management and Financial Reporting. Outgoing officers and directors with us are Bob Berline, Penultimate President; Dave Navy, Vice President Life; Josh Shapiro, Vice President Pension. Officers and directors continuing their service who are present also include Steve Alpert, the Penultimate President; Lisa Schlotznick, Vice President Casualty; Audrey Halverson, Vice President Health; Art Panaghetti, Vice President Professionalism; and directors Bruce Cadenhead, Lauren Kavanaugh, Andy Ferris, Tricia Matson, Tom Wildsmith. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your service past, present, and future. When I spoke at last year's meeting as the new president, I talked about the Academy's voice and the importance of that voice being independent, objective, and effective. Since then, I've had the opportunity and the honor to represent the Academy before many different audiences. The experience has only reinforced the importance of the Academy's role and unique voice. Highlights include the National Association of Insurance Commissioners meetings that I have attended, where I have presented alongside members of the Actuarial Standards Board and the Actuarial Board on Counseling and Discipline, as well as the Committee on Qualifications, and watched Academy volunteer upon Academy volunteer update regulators on the research and the work that they have engaged in on behalf of the U.S. actuarial profession. Another highlight for a P&C actuary was going to the 44th Annual Enrolled Actuaries meeting earlier this year. What do I mean when I say the Academy's voice is unique? Like a person's fingerprint, we have a unique voice print that is identifiably ours. It reflects the public policy and professionalism mission that defines our purpose. It reflects the principles of objectivity and independence that guide our work. And it has a specific depth and character reflected in the composition and professional expertise of our cross-practice, broad-based membership, which from our very first days has included actuaries of all practice areas in the United States. Of all the audiences I speak to as president, none is more aware than you of the distinctive features and credibility that our voice represents, nor of the level of dedication required to achieve it. Many of you are personally involved in our public policy and professionalism work and in coordinating the efforts of volunteers who give their time and thought leadership to fulfilling our mission. Thank you again to all of the Academy volunteers and the Academy staff. And if you are not currently involved in such volunteerism, I invite you to join your colleagues for what you will find to be a rewarding way to support the profession, serve the public, and to personally grow and experience and develop lifelong ties to your fellow actuaries. The day-to-day work involved in supporting the Academy as a unified, objective voice for our national profession can be painstaking, but I hope I've used my voice as president to express how meaningful and rewarding the results of our work are, and how what we do resonates in daily practice for actuaries and in the daily lives of millions of Americans. I've found it rewarding to be at the helm of the Academy as we've engaged in dialogues with regulators, policymakers, and stakeholders on important issues like actuarial qualifications, principle-based reserving, multi-employer and public pension plans, health insurance reform, flood insurance, and climate risk, among many others. Saying that I'm proud of our work almost seems like an understatement, but I don't know how else to express it, other than I am proud of our contribution to sound public policy and professionalism. And with the fine leadership team that the Academy has, I know it will continue. I've heard many compliments from others throughout the year, both inside and outside the Academy, regarding the quality, depth, and breadth of our work. It includes Capitol Hill briefings and visits, issue papers, comment letters, webinars, events, and much more, including our new professionalism podcast, aptly named Actuary Voices. I hope you'll have a chance to listen in. Compliments also come from representatives or members of national actuarial organizations around the world, eager to understand our success and our model of self-regulation and to take valuable lessons home to their own organizations. The Academy has a strong desire to share our story, approaches, and challenges with others and to learn from them. This year, the Board of Directors took steps to strengthen our approach to international issues, which going forward will involve more direct contact with organizations of interest concerning the United States actuarial profession as a whole, as well as continuing to build upon the relationships that we've established with other actuarial organizations around the world. The board also took steps to ensure that our voice of professionalism and public policy issues remains dynamic, distinctive, and relevant, with the adoption of a new strategic plan for the Academy, which was developed under the leadership of Joeff Williams, our incoming president. I know that with leaders like Joeff and President-elect Tom Campbell, our independent, objective, and effective voice will continue to resonate with actuaries and non-actuaries alike, to make us proud of what we continue to accomplish together. Thank you. So it's November, and we know that winter is coming, but more importantly, Williams is coming. Now I'd like to invite Joeff Williams to the stage. It's now time for the Academy's presidential transition, which is signified by the exchange of the traditional symbols of the office, the passing of the gavel. I present to you, Joeff, this gavel, the symbol of leadership. And then I take it away.
That was short.
The presidential medal. I present to you a presidential medal, which is worn by our president. It is a symbol of the Academy's role as a national association of actuaries in the United States and is worn at various events here and around the world. Wear this medal along with a pin. I'm going to give you, oh, you're right, I did it backwards. Thanks. Along with a pin. You can keep that one. Yeah. All right. And now I welcome you as the 55th President of the American Academy of Actuaries.
So now it's my honor to present the traditional gift for the outgoing president. It's a pair of statues of a Chinese Mandarin and scribe. It's also the tradition that the Mandarins represent the role of the actuary as a trusted advisor to the country's decision makers. It is by providing policymakers with nonpartisan actuarial analysis that the profession helps in the development of sound laws and regulations. I would also like to present to you, Shawna, the medal for the outgoing president. Let's make sure we get that right. Thank you again. Congratulations to you, Shawna, for all your leadership. It's a great honor to take office as president. Shawna, you truly will be a tough act to follow. It's really been my pleasure to observe and learn from you this past year, and I want to say thank you to you. Thank you. As I look in the audience at the familiar faces of past presidents and other Academy volunteers who I've had the pleasure to work with, there are a lot of tough acts to follow. And I know you all have high expectations, and you should. Seeing this audience and knowing that you represent thousands of other Academy members reinforces to me that the Academy's purpose and objectives transcend any one person or even any point in time. Our history is rich, shaped over decades by thousands of hands, both yours and others, drawing from our duly defined mission: public policy and professionalism. Think about all those who led and contributed to the Academy in the past. The result of their achievements transcends the efforts of any particular individuals, benefiting thousands of actuaries across the country and tens of millions who depend on government safety net programs, insurance, pension plans, and other financial systems. Those who shaped our history include the founders who identified the need for a national organization for the profession and took steps to endorse and form it in 1965. Soon after the formation, subsequent leaders laid the groundwork for the Code of Professional Conduct and the recognition of Academy membership for actuarial qualifications before the National Association of Insurance Commissioners and accounting entities in the late 1960s. The next generation of visionaries trumpeted the importance of actuarial expertise in public policy in the 1970s and established our Washington, D.C. office here. They were followed by pioneers who organized the Committee on Qualification, the Actuarial Standards Board, and the Actuarial Board for Counseling and Discipline in the 1980s and the 1990s. And all those who helped project the Academy's objective and independent voice on Social Security, healthcare reform, pension security, and other public policy issues of their times. The Academy's work continued into the 2000s with the adoption of a single unifying code of professional conduct, and to most recently, the celebration of our 50th anniversary in 2015. I want to use this year to add my hands and to urge others to add theirs to shaping the Academy's history going forward. I think of us as builders upon a great legacy, not just blindly following plans, but strategically designing and executing those plans that will guide us and create a bridge to meet the professionalism and the public policy challenges of the future. Shawna mentioned recently the adopted strategic plan. In recent years, the Academy has acted to make strategic changes necessary to be true to our fundamental and unchanging mission. And we can honor the legacy left to us by continuing to identify and address not just momentary issues, but also bigger strategic needs. These strategic changes have included the streamlining of our board of directors to enhance our independence and objectivity, and changes in our approach to international issues, so our efforts as the National Association for the U.S. Profession, in fact, are more direct, responsive, and effective for U.S. actuaries. As we work together to build and plan for that Academy's future, that word effective is critical. The Academy's tagline is objective, independent, effective. While effective comes last, it's a mistake to interpret that as meaning effectiveness is an afterthought. Every year, all Academy members who volunteer attest to objectivity. In our volunteer service and through the Academy's publications, we see how the Academy operates independently of other groups and interests. Our efforts must be effective, though, to truly accomplish that mission. As we engage in our work and lay the groundwork for the actuary's future this year, I hope to be able to focus on how the Academy is relevant on a daily basis to our members and to the stakeholders that we touch, especially policymakers and the public who rely on sound actuarial work. This will include highlighting to members and other stakeholders in the public the many public policy and professionalism resources and activities of the Academy and their benefits. These range from resources aimed at facilitating our collective professionalism requirements, like our qualifications attestation form, and frequently asked questions on the qualification standards, to the many timely and informative public policy materials aimed at a more external audience on issues leading up to next year's presidential and congressional elections. I want to express my appreciation for the honor of being selected as the Academy's 55th president. And I look forward to working with you to build on the legacy left by Shawna and so many others to make our work as effective as possible. Thank you.